Hi, and welcome to Fairbanks Below Zero. We're currently at the Tanana River south of Fairbanks, where I've shot the aurora here many times. To me, the aurora is the most beautiful thing in nature. That is why I have devoted so much of my time and resources. In this documentary, I will show you about the aurora and my time in Fairbanks. I hope you enjoy the video.
It takes 2 or 3 flights to get there from Pennsylvania and usually 18 hours of travel. But this year was longer because I had to fly and drive. Fairbanks couldn't provide me with the type of rental car I wanted. This year, I flew into Anchorage and then drove the extra 350 miles to Fairbanks, which took 8 hours. In the daytime of the first few days, I drive to my favorite locations to see if they are plowed and safe to park at night. On this map are all of my favorite locations that I have discovered over the past 6 years. Some are only 15 miles from my hotel, while others are up to 250 miles away. Cloudiness of the sky each night determines which location I select. This year, the Alaskan interior region has had more snow than usual. The roads are in various conditions. When I arrived, most of the roads were designated as difficult. Alaska doesn't maintain their roads like they do on the East Coast. As a result, the snow gets compacted into the pavement and turns into an ice pack. If the road is shaded from the low-angled sun, it stays frozen for months. Besides scouting, the daytime hours are filled with sleeping, cooking, eating, and drinking. I fill the gas tank every day before going out for the night. It's a waiting game. I wait for sunset and concentrate on the magnetic data and cloud reports on the internet. The cloudy and snowy weather in this trip was overwhelming. Most photo shoots are not successful. On Tuesday night, I decided to travel 60 miles southwest from Fairbanks to find a clearing in the clouds. Instead, I ran into snow, so heavy that I had to turn back because I couldn't see the markings on the pavement. The first week was filled with disappointing cloudy skies. On Monday, the sky overhead was overcast. The only part of the aurora that I could see was through a thin opening in the distance. On Thursday evening, a thin veil of upper clouds diffused the aurora, looking like this. I moved to a new location at 4 a.m., but by then the aurora had lost its strength and wasn't too exciting. Let's go to a dog sled race. First, I need to show you the different varieties of the northern lights. A simple green glow in the north is the most simplest and non-photogenic variety. It may be the only thing that you see all night. The camera shows it green here, but to our eyes it looks more like this. This is what we see with the KP1 level. Okay, it's almost 11 o'clock, and this is what a typical aurora starts out with. It's a green band stretching from the northeast to the northwest as it gradually increases in height in the sky. It's been there about 15 minutes so far. As the energy grows, the green glow becomes an arc or a vertical spike in the sky. This is a KP2 or KP3 level. These videos show how it looks in real-time video. It changes very slowly, almost undetectable as you watch. Before 2014, few video cameras could capture real-time video. Instead, viewers usually seen a time-lapse. This time-lapse emphasizes movement because it consolidates 32 minutes into 8 seconds. It is a deception with the camera since it looks nothing like what we see on location. If the energy becomes stronger, the arc turns into curtains at KP3 to 4. But my favorite type of aurora occurs at KP4, 5, and 6 level. The aurora comes alive. It becomes a twisting saber of light that has ripples. It moves very fast. This is a real-time video, not a time-lapse. I call this the big show. The telltale sign of an abundance of magnetic energy is the pink fringe on the bottom. The pinkness occurs when the aurora reaches closer than 60 miles above the Earth and is caused by a reaction with the nitrogen. At times, it can almost look violent, but yet there is no sound, just total silence. So what causes the aurora, and how did I know when to take my trips this year? The cause of the aurora can be traced back to our sun. Our sun not only shoots out light and heat that hit the Earth, but it also shoots out plasma. This plasma is called the solar wind, and when it is strong, it creates the aurora. What can make the solar wind stronger? Well, there are two things: a coronal mass ejection and a coronal hole. Here is a coronal mass ejection on the sun. The coronal mass ejection is not predictable and happens more during solar maximum. I saw auroras caused by these in 2013 through 2016. Here is a coronal hole. You can see it basically keeps its shape as the sun rotates. Keep in mind that the sun rotates every 27 days. We find that the coronal holes last for months during solar minimum 2017 through 2019. They may last for 8 or more rotations of the sun, and they create a strong solar wind. It takes 3 days for the solar wind to arrive on Earth, unlike the light and heat from the sun, which takes 8 minutes to travel the 93 million miles. As the solar wind approaches the Earth, it is shielded by Earth's magnetic shield. The plasma interacts with the upper atmosphere. The ions in the solar wind hit the atoms of oxygen and nitrogen, creating the aurora lights. Molecules of the air are excited, making the air molecules glow. So, since the hole in the sun reappears on each sun rotation, that means that the strong solar wind is predictable, and therefore the aurora displays are predictable. In December, I started watching the coronal holes of the sun and watching their effects on the aurora. This particular hole was directed at us on December 5th. It would reappear on January 1st. It did,
and it created auroras 3 days later for 4 days. So when the hole came around again at the end of January, I decided to take my first trip, and I had 3 great nights of shooting the aurora. It was very active. Then, 27 days later, I saw the hole coming around the edge of the sun again, so I decided to take a second trip. The KPs on this trip were fantastic, as I had 5 great nights of shooting the aurora. So let's check out the data.
Let's take a look at this evening's predictions. As we can see here, it's very good, 3s, 4s, all through the night. We go back here, we take a look at the graphical representation. Here we see from 10 till 1, we got 4s. So we have to be on site by 10 o'clock. It gets dark around 9:30. But here's our problem. If we go to the weather, the clouds, we're going to find out cloud cover at, let's move it up to 10 p.m. Okay. Alaska Fairbanks would be right in here, so we're going to have to head southeast in order to get into it. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, here we are. We're at the photo shoot location. Now all we can do is wait on the aurora.
It's Friday night. We're on the first really nice photo shoot location. It's 10:50 at night, and I'm sitting about 30 miles below Delta Junction, and we're expecting up to KP4 tonight. What a perfect night this is. It's very unusual. Where I'm standing, it's 28 degrees, so I don't even have gloves on. There is absolutely no wind. I have found a place that has no traffic. I'm only 50 feet from the main road.
Okay, guys, here we are. Friday evening, it's 12:10, and we click on the forecast. As you can see today, this is for tomorrow already. Well, it's the same thing, a 4. Down here at the bottom, active 4. And we are located, find Fairbanks in the middle, and go towards Dawson City and down, but yet don't leave Alaska. That's where we're at. We're sitting here, we've been here for like an hour and a half, and the aurora has died down. So we're going to look at what's happening elsewhere. So if we come down to here, Cram College Poker Flat, this is the one that's closest to Fairbanks. It's a camera pointing straight up into the sky. As you can see, it's just a little bit of green and real fuzziness, and that's because they have cloud cover up there right now. Okay, so now this is the reading of, if you look over on the top right, it's the second line, hemispherical power. When there's no aurora, that'll be down around 10 gigawatts. Here 20 minutes ago, it was 15 gigawatts. Now we'll hit refresh. So we're currently at 15 gigawatts. If you look at the picture of the aurora over top of Canada, you can see where it's just barely getting into Alaska. And that will rotate as the night goes on. And that strong, bright yellow-green part will start coming into Alaska.
Just took our first picture of the night with the DF and 24 millimeter. Everything's looking good. It's so dark. There is no moon tonight. we're pointed in the northeast direction because the northwest direction has still got some cloudiness left over from today's overcast. So we'll be limited to just shooting north and northeast to get the clearest sky and the sharpest aurora. Okay, we're going to go for our second shot here. I see a little bit of a flame up of curtains in the northeast. We're shooting an arc here that's coming right overhead. It's usually that's a good sign of some fantastic curtains to come. Let's see if we can get that on the still images. Thing of it is every time you change the position of your tripod, you've got to reset the horizon as to what's level. Oh, what a beautiful arc. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's unbelievable. Let's turn this a little bit here. That's good. Okay. I think what we're going to do is we're going to get a shot of me on video with a third camera. Now we got this at a very slow shutter speed, so I'm going to be I'm going to have to stand still. Okay. Ooh, looks very nice. Yeah. Yeah, there's a pink tinge to it. I like it. Let's aim it up a little bit higher. Yeah, gonna have to turn my light on. For some reason I couldn't get to that. Okay. That should be good. Alright, let's go for another one. Oh yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. I like the way that arcs. Yep. That's pretty neat. Okay, see if our video's catching it. Yeah, we need to swing this around a little bit. I think I gotta get rid of a glove. Okay, folks, yes. You're seeing it live here. This is what a photo shoot's all about. It's constantly changing camera angles and moving between the cameras. Ooh, it's looking good. Let's rotate this over a little bit. Okay. So, there you have it, folks. That's this is how we manage. Car's right here. I'm never that far away from the car because I'm scared a moose is going to come out like he did one other time. And we're monitoring a still camera and a video camera. And of course, this year we're taping with a video camera, so that's cool. Nice. This 3 brackets working out great. Like right now, this is taking 1 second, a 2 second, and a 4 second. That way I get to pick which one I think is bright enough or not too bright. And the aurora and the foreground changes so much difference in lighting. So you really you're messing with the settings all night long. Okay, so the aurora's dying down now a little bit. So I think we'll stop all the cameras.
I love watching the Milky Way, but you can't see it from very many places. I took the following 16-second time lapse over a span of 39 minutes at 4 a.m. There are several things I want you to watch in this time lapse. First, we have the arc of the Milky Way as seen here in the eastern sky. Watch it move as the Earth turns. Also, we have a faint green glow from the northern lights and a brightness coming over the mountain from the north, also caused by the northern lights. You'll also see a lot of moving objects in the sky. These are not airplanes. Believe it or not, these are satellites and space junk orbiting the Earth. Just Google space debris. On the final night of my 12-night trip, I saw the best aurora show between 11:30 and 4 a.m. I chose a photo shoot location as 30 miles north of Fairbanks. Notice in the foreground is a group of people on an aurora tour. For $300 you get hot coffee, snacks, and are given 3 hours of aurora viewing. The display was very active and this location had a full view in all directions. This camera from University of Fairbanks best shows how an evening progresses. This is a time-lapse camera which only takes an image every 3 seconds. A movie is made by rapidly stringing the images together. The camera is looking up at the whole sky and north is at the bottom. We will start it at the beginning. We first see the green arc in the north around 11 p.m., 2300 Alaska time in the lower right. Moving ahead, we see that it gets overhead around 1 a.m. And then around 1:30 a.m. it starts to explode. This night was classified as a KP3. After 3 a.m., the curtains are less defined. The sky is filled with residue, which is not photogenic. Here is some of my video from that night. Here is the green band on the horizon. And here is the active part after 1:30 a.m.
I've made it a custom to always get a Wendy's burger on my way to a photo shoot location. We're at Summit Lake, which is about 160 miles from the hotel, and it took me about 3.25 hours to get here.
Okay, here we are on Wednesday night, the second night at Summit Lake. First we'll look at the plasma, see how things are coming. Top there, the red and white, looking good. The red is below the 0 mark, which is called negative BZ, which is excellent. Now come down to the yellow line. That's the speed of the plasma. It's up between 500 and 600. Excellent. That's normally down in the 350. The orange one, third one down, is density of the plasma. That's normally below 1. It's somewhere between 5 and 10. So excellent. We have all the magnetics we need to provide a good aurora. We can look at the oval. This is a computation of how many gigawatts of power. And you can see that we're up to 19. That's great. It was only 10 to 12 last night. And you can see the green areas which show where the aurora is visible.
Okay, hey everybody, welcome. This is our second night here at Summit Lake, and as you can see behind me we have the beginnings of the green arc. This is a Wednesday night and it's right after 9 p.m. Got an early start. It's a 3-hour drive to get down here, and I hope you enjoy the show. So that's ready to roll here pretty soon, so I got to get the video camera and the stills camera tripod set up. So go ahead and follow me as I go through all those motions. Okay, let's see if we still have the recorder going. Yep. Okay, the first thing we get going here is the video. I see a strange light over there. I'm not really familiar with it. Could be snowmobiles. Okay, so we'll go ahead, get the video on the tripod. Get it all lined up here. Okay. So I have the feeling that it's going to start in, okay, 115. Go down 10. And it's looking good. Let's check the ISO. We're at 5100. There we go. And we'll go ahead and start and run that a little bit. Meanwhile, we can go ahead and get the stills camera ready. By the way, it's minus 3 degrees right here. So it is a bit nip. I got my chemical heaters already in my glove.
Okay, we're going to shoot this way a little bit. First thing we do here is line up the horizon. We have to check the focus point. Focus isn't ready. Now we'll try a couple shots. Okay. We're going to turn off the video. The video is good to go. This here, let's see if our stars are sharp. Oh yeah, real sharp. Okay, that's looking good. So that's all set. We can turn that off.
Okay, just had to make one more recording. This is the Wednesday night, second night of the second trip. Take a look at this, 49 gigawatts. No wonder the clouds or the aurora is pulsating. I've never seen it that big. And you can see the yellow is in the Alaskan region. Simply amazing.
I contribute the extraordinary power of the aurora display to my new experience of seeing a new type of aurora. I will call it flashing. It is different than the arcs, spikes, and curtains that I usually see. I saw this display, which was more like bombs going off in mid-air, but it flashes as quick as lightning in a thunderstorm. The action was not very bright and hardly seen with the naked eye, but it was very fast. These videos have not been speeded up. I first saw it here in the Alaskan mountain range. Then I noticed that I could see it overhead too. It eventually conquered the entire sky. As a comparison, here is a sample of a slow type of flashing that I normally see. Okay, we're ready to go out on another photo shoot. There are two problems to picking photo shoot locations. Here's an example of the first problem of cloud cover. As you can see, a beautiful aurora is obscured at the horizon by the clouds. This is why I try to select locations without clouds. The second problem is gauging my geographical location with the strength of the aurora. In this example, I am located too far south. When you are too far south, the aurora will only appear on the horizon. The more north you can locate yourself, the higher in the sky the aurora will be. But I have problems with dirt roads and truckers when I go too far north.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the movie. This is Al, and take care from Fairbanks. We'll see you around.